Let's talk about my childhood for a second. I was a rather awkward kid. I mean, I'm still awkward, but I'm a man now. I spent most of my time watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, playing with my toys, imagining S-tier storylines, and of course, playing video games. At 4 years old, my love for games sprouted, and the main games that contributed to this were Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and Pokemon Leaf Green. All three of these games respectively led me down a different path of gaming titles as I've gotten older that have vastly extended my taste in games and genres alike. However, there is one game I skipped over for the purpose of a dramatic reveal. I think it's pretty obvious considering it's in the title, so let me spare you the build-up here. Luigi's Mansion was the very first game I ever personally owned. I played the absolute crap out of this game. I've gathered each coin, collected all of Mario's clothing items, humped every piece of furniture, and hunted down every single boo. I even got the plant to sprout one of the two only gold diamonds in the game. Now, Luigi's Mansion helped branch out my interests towards the horror genre, and I've never looked back. As a matter of fact, horror is one of my favorite genres to play, watch, or experience, and it's all thanks to this game. Every Halloween, I have made it a tradition to always revisit Luigi's Mansion, mainly because I got nothing better to do, but it's always a pleasure to revisit one of my firsts in my gaming experience. After playing through the game again once more, I wanted to express why I think this game is still a masterpiece. Even when compared to games nowadays, Luigi's Mansion still holds up very well. And you know what? That might be the nostalgia speaking, I'll be completely honest, but do I care? Not really, it's my video. So, without further ado, my name is Josh, also known as Garbanzo Bean, and let's talk about Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion was the first Mario game to be released on the GameCube and is the 5th best-selling GameCube game of all time. Now, the storyline here is Luigi has recently won a mansion from a contest he didn't even enter. I'm sure you don't need the magic crystal ball to tell you that, this was a stupid idea. Mario has been captured by the infamous King Boo, and it's up to our boy, Luigi, to rescue his brother, suck up all the escaped ghosts, and just dust this place, because seriously, how can he even breathe in that mansion? Regardless, this game's atmosphere and gameplay are quite unique to the franchise overall. I mean, even when compared to its sequels, Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3. And look, it's not that these games are bad, okay? But the original has a distinct darker tone that the newer games don't replicate. And I have gathered evidence to support my claim. Luigi's Mansion reminds me a lot about Dark Souls, in the sense that both of these games use their music sparingly. With Dark Souls, you only hear music back at the Firelink Shrine or when fighting a boss. Luigi's Mansion has a very simple soundtrack that adds to the ambiance when exploring the hallways. However, when you enter an unexplored room, you are greeted with absolute silence. The only things you hear are Luigi's muttering, the sound of his footsteps, and ghosts taunting him in the background. As a kid, and even now, I felt incredibly isolated. The lack of music emphasizes the creepiness of this mansion, but not to an unholy degree because, it's a kid's game. You really think they're gonna pull a Dead Space here and have a necromorph chasing after you? I don't think so, although that would be hilarious. Even when you complete an area and all the lights are on, there's still zero music, the difference being that Luigi is now peacefully humming the theme song. Again, this is for kids, so you don't want to go for the trauma levels of spookiness. Although I will say that Chauncey, the baby, he always got under my skin. I was not exactly happy with him screaming like a siren in my face, but you know what, I digress. The lack of music complements very well with the awkward camera angles too. It makes you feel very uncomfortable from a gameplay perspective. It's kind of like we're spying on Luigi and not really playing the game at some points, which is a really interesting perspective to have, and I really like it. Let's not forget one of the key factors here in making a spooky atmosphere. Luigi's Mansion is dark. Finding that balance between making a game dark while still being functional is very difficult, and I applaud those who can find that balance because it always pays off. You don't want a game too bright, otherwise it's not really that scary. You don't want a game too dark because I can't see a darn thing. There's also the fact that this game doesn't have any cutscenes when entering boss rooms, minus the final bosses between each area. In the newer games, each ghost has a semi-goofy cutscene that takes away from the immersion. Again, it's not that these games are bad, okay? Luigi's Mansion 3 is great in its own way. But there is so much more impact, atmospherically speaking, when you enter a dark room, there's no cutscene, no indications, and you simply have to figure out what to do. I remember the scariest room in the mansion for me growing up was Mr. Lug's. When you enter the dining area, you can't see Mr. Lug's, but you can hear him scarfing down cake. As a kid, that was very unsettling. As an adult, I'm more concerned about the cake. Can a brother get a slice here? But it's not just Mr. Lug's. All the portrait ghosts are unnerving in their own ways. Consider this. With newer games, it's easier to express emotions, what the character is feeling. When you look at an older game, like Luigi's Mansion, the ghosts are not nearly as expressive, so there's an eeriness from their lack of emotion. Overall, the atmosphere is great because there's a common theme with Luigi's Mansion here, that being it excels at doing more by doing less. It is a simple game, but a simple game allows for the small details or basic concepts to shine through if done correctly. And Luigi's Mansion does just that. This follows suit with the gameplay. The core idea here is to suck all the ghosts you can find. Regular ghosts involve stunning their heart with your flashlight, before taking residence within your vacuum cleaner. However, Luigi's Mansion goes about capturing portrait ghosts by giving the player easy yet clever puzzles to solve in order to reveal the heart of said ghost. For example, you got Shivers, the wandering butler. You'll find these floating candles throughout the hallways, and coincidentally, you gain the ability to shoot fire out your vacuum. Light those candles up, and Shivers will appear, making the weirdest noises. Another creepy moment from my childhood. He'll travel all the way to his room where you can then suck him up without any witnesses. Biff Atlas, you knock him around with the punching bags. Bop! With Henry and Orville, you play hide and seek with them, except you can cheat by shaking the boxes they're in with the Poltergust 3000. Now as a kid, I had no idea you could do that, so I blindly guessed correctly and they still thought I was cheating. For the floating Whirlindos, you wait for the guy to go, I mean, you get the idea, it's not complicated here. What really matters here is if the gameplay is still fun after all these years. And you know what, I gotta say, yeah, I still enjoy it. It really tickles my inner kid. Honestly, I enjoy collecting loot just as much as sucking up ghosts. Having sexual intercourse with the furniture yields quite a bit of money, so go ham on them dusty wardrobes. You're gonna get a lot of cash out of that. Special ghosts roam the mansion that drop a significant amount of loot. The blue speedster is one case, the golden mouse is another. Plus, if you're a good Samaritan and care for the giant plant in the backyard, boom, golden diamond. Don't miss the regular plants too, by the way. They need some water as well. They need some love, and you'll get golden stuff out of it too. But for the big plant, you have to remember, you gotta water it between each area, otherwise it'll wither. Speaking of areas, there are 4 sections of the mansion you get to explore. And each one has a similar theme because, I mean, it's all the same mansion, but a different layout. Personally, I like the 2nd and 4th sections the best. They're my favorites in the game, mainly because my favorite portrait ghosts reside in area 2 and 4, but the secrets to discover are pretty cool too. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say about the gameplay because, again, this game is simple. All you do is hump furniture and suck up ghosts. That's about it. As someone who constantly challenges himself by playing games like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Hollow Knight, Lies of Pi, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Armored Core 6, Lords of the Fallen, Cuphead, and Pizza Tower, it's nice to play an easy game once in a while. After I completed the game, you get a ranking based on how much loot you collected, which also determines what Luigi is left with at the end. I got a C ranking. Don't judge me, it's been a while and I wanted to make this video sooner, but it's well past Halloween, so whatever. Now, it's not a perfect game, mind you, okay? The nostalgia will not blind me to the fact that boos suck to suck. Instead of being, for a lack of a better term, attached to the Poltergust 3000, they can freely roam the room and even escape sometimes. That means I have to basically travel in between 2 consecutive rooms multiple times in order to capture one boo. In certain areas, like the basement level, when a boo leaves, you have to travel through 2, maybe 3 rooms in order to find it again. Although, to be fair, when that's your only complaint about a game, it's not too bad. Nintendo, I don't think, has really captured the charm of the original Luigi's Mansion since then, and you know what, that's okay, because an older game like this always has a special place in my heart. Ironically, older games in general have a charm to them that simply can't be replicated, and I think a portion of that has to do with the time period when we were kids, you know, when our only worries were when the next game was gonna come out. I think it also has to deal with how this genre of entertainment has changed. There's always a business goal with games nowadays. I mean, what happened to simply making a fun game? You don't need to have the best soundtrack or the best story, best gameplay. Just make your game and let the player have fun with it. Luigi's Mansion is a joy to play. I had a blast revisiting it, and it brought back some fun memories. As much praise as I give this game, I can't say it's in my top favorites anymore because, well, you know, since 2001, I've played hundreds of games since then, and I can think of quite a few that exceed in quality. Now, if I was back in my early 2010 days, then we got a bronze medal here. I still liked Pokemon more, and I was getting into Monster Hunter then, which is still one of my favorite franchises ever. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have your own 2 cents to chip in about Luigi's Mansion, I mean, go for it. I don't really know what's next as there's no new games out, but I still need to finish Armored Core 6, and I got that realistic SWAT game Ready or Not, so I might try that out too. But for now, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care everyone, and of course, stay safe.